Good morning, CG. I'm Emily.
And I'm Ben.
And this is your CGTV Broadcast for Friday, March 14th.
On Wednesday night, National Honor Society had their annual induction ceremony. This induction had around 75 students being inducted, all of whom have a 3.6 GPA or higher, as well as 2 community member recommendations, 3 teacher recommendations, and 6 activity points. Caleb Heck is one of these inductees.
So to be inducted, we had to go through several things. We had to get 2 community members to give us letters just describing service that we had done. We had to get 6 activity points, which were earned through sports and clubs at the school. And we also had to get 3 teachers to stamp our paper to say that they would recommend us for the club. And then the induction ceremony itself was really cool to see the seniors. They inducted us, gave us our rows, and then we shook hands with different administrators and got our certificate, and we were on our way.
Once students are inducted into NHS, they must attend monthly meetings and complete 6 hours of tutoring.
The girls lacrosse team started their season on Tuesday. Along with this new season comes a new level of competition, as the team is now competing in 2A as opposed to their previous seasons in 1A. My co-host Ben Baranko brings you the story.
Last year, the Trojans won the 1A state title. This year, the team makes the jump to 2A.
It's a little stressful just because it means harder competition, but I think that's good for us, and it's exciting to know that our team's developing and getting a lot better and more competitive.
I feel very excited for switching from 1A to 2A. I feel it's going to give us good exposure, especially for people who want to go to college, and us as a team as a whole, just giving people around us that we actually have a lacrosse team, make more people want to play.
The increased pace and skill level of a higher division requires that the Trojans get faster in practice and build a winning culture.
We're trying to work on the basics, getting the passing down, and we have a good incoming freshman class, so involving them and making sure that our culture stays strong and building a team.
I feel in practices we're doing a lot more high-paced movements and really working on just being a faster team as a whole. The teams are going against our very fast pace, and we're really up there with skill-wise. I just feel like just movements and overall speed is our main focus right now.
The transition from 1A to 2A is filled with uncertainty. However, the girls feel they are up to the challenge.
Our expectations are to go and win state. Make it Final Four at least, because we have a pretty good team, and our team chemistry is getting really good this season, so just to go and win state.
The Trojans will be back in action tomorrow versus Penn.
Thanks, Ben.
While the lacrosse team is just starting their season, indoor percussion is getting ready for their debut at Dayton Arena. Molly Dew has the story.
Since December, students in indoor percussion have been preparing a 7-minute show called Faded Heroes. Justin Grober brings us a different perspective on the challenges of preparing this show.
I think that this indoor season has a lot more challenges with our group being significantly younger than we have been in past years, so we have to deal with the training of new people while trying to maintain our high level. They'll understand how reliant it is on being together as a group, not only in your sections but as a whole percussion. You can't have moments when you lose trust in other people, because if one person makes a mistake, it's everyone's problem, and if everyone does it right, then it works beautifully. So it's having an undoubtable trust of every single person in the activity.
Playing the music is only an aspect of the show. Deacon Norman explains the importance behind the theme of Faded Heroes.
It starts off with a world without the heroes, and then slowly through the help of others, I guess, we find the inner hero within us. Me, the show is just about finding the inner strength within yourself to overcome things, even when it gets hard and it seems like there's no one else to help you.
Thanks, Molly, and good luck to indoor this weekend.
The Red Alert Robotics team also competes this weekend for the first time at Kokomo. Preet Pinchal and Andrew Brule bring us the preview.
Robots are sci-fi in many people's minds, but for the robotics team, they build them every year. At their first robotics competition of the year, Red Alert is looking to start their season off strong. The game for this year is called Reefscape, a water-themed challenge that the team has been hoping for.
More or less, we have a choral station in both sides of the field in the middle of each alliance section. There's also choral stations on both sides of the field for 2 on each side, giving each alliance 2 spots to grab choral and choral, the only game piece to score with other than the algae. Speaking of the algae comes up next. It is giant blue yoga balls pretty much. They are used to score in the research station. You put them in there, you get, I think it's believed 4 points. Then the human player gets a chance to shoot it up into the top part, which is the barge. And then the other part of the game we have is the cages. You can either do a deep climb cage or you can do a shallow climb cage. Both have their ins and outs, both have their pros and cons.
A robotics competition has 2 main stages, the qualifying and the playoff stage.
So it's pretty much determined on how many teams there are at a competition. So with it being more populated, about 48-ish teams, I believe each team gets around 8 qualification rounds. The qualification rounds determine your rank via how many ranking points you get. Top 8 teams are a team captaincy position. They go onto the field. They are given their choices of the teams that they want to choose as alliance partners. After the alliance is selected, the playoffs will begin with seed 1 going against seed 8, and so on, going about a stagnant with 1 and 8, 7 and 6, 3 and 4, all those kind of different stagnates, making sure the playoffs are as fair as possible, separating most of the big seeds.
The robot this year is centered around scoring the coral off the ground.
So this year our robot works by intaking coral, which is the main game piece of the game. They're 4-inch diameter PVC pipes. We pick those off the ground and then transport them into the center of our robot, which then they're kind of indexed or fed into a system of the system that we use to score. So this is an elevator system using 3 stages. So we're able to control, or we're able to like telescope out for height. And then on the end of that elevator, we have an arm that can pivot 180 degrees to allow us to score on all 4 levels of the reef. So we're hoping to be a very offensively efficient robot this year because we're able to hopefully score as much as possible.
With the unique approach to the game, they feel confident about the competition.
Well, I'm pretty optimistic for the upcoming competition. We have a competition this weekend in Kokomo, and then, as you mentioned, next week will be Lafayette. I'm pretty hopeful that we'll do pretty good. We're also one of the only so far looking teams in Indiana that are doing ground pickup, making us a more unique system to have on your team and be playing with us not having to go to each coral station and picking up from there, allowing defense not to get us as much since we can just pick up the coral from the ground. But with everything else going, it's looking pretty good. Robots looking pretty ready, and we're pretty excited to try and compete and try to win this season.
The robotics team will be competing at Kokomo during the 14th through 16th and again at Lafayette the week after. This is Preet Panchal, back to the studio.
Thanks, guys.
And finally, Mason Lee and Taylor Townley went out to ask questions for this week's edition of Trojan Talk.
Welcome back, CG. I'm Mason.
And I'm Taylor.
Today we're going to be asking people to ask other people questions. Who am I here with? Carl Offer. If you had $1 million, what would be the first thing you would buy? A car. What question should we ask the next person? What's your favorite song? All right, thank you. Who am I here with?
Kai Wilson.
What's your favorite song?
Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter.
What question should I ask the next person?
What's your favorite haircut?
All right, thank you. Who am I here with?
Matthew Ankow.
What's your favorite haircut?
Probably the LTF. The Lord Paper.
What question should we ask the next person?
What their favorite candy is.
All right, thank you.
Who am I here with?
Brian Micaiah.
What is your favorite type of candy?
Skittles.
And then what question should I ask the next person?
What's their favorite holiday?
Thank you. Who am I here with?
Morgan.
What is your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
And what question should we ask the next person?
Can you do a one-armed push-up?
Thank you.
Who am I here with?
Nathan Goins.
You think you can do a one-arm push-up?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, do it. Hey. All right, what should we ask the next person?
If they could walk on their hands.
All right, bet. Thank you. Who am I here with?
Aiden Francis.
Can you walk on your hands?
Maybe.
All right, do it. That was close, but we'll give it to you. What should we ask the next person?
Ask them if they can whistle.
All right, thank you.
Who am I here with?
Brady Downing?
Can you whistle?
Yeah.
Show me. What question should we ask the next person?
Can you touch your nose with your tongue?
Thank you. With
Lexi Wilson.
Can you touch your tongue to your nose?
No, I cannot.
What question should we ask the next person?
Can you do a cartwheel?
Thank you.
Who am I here with?
Royce Malone.
Can you do a cartwheel?
Yes, sir.
Can you show us? Okay. What should we ask the next person?
Ask him who's on the $100 bill.
All right, thank you.
Who am I here with?
Brooklyn.
Who is on the $100 bill?
Ben Franklin.
That's correct. And what question should we ask the next person?
How many colors are in the rainbow?
Thank you.
Who am I here with?
Grady Grant?
How many colors are on the rainbow?
6'7".
What should we ask the next person?
How tall is LeBron James?
All right, thank you. Who am I here with?
Sloan, Ella, Macy, Ivy.
All right. How tall is LeBron James?
6'9", 6'7", 6'8". 6'10".
The correct answer was 6'9".
Those are some fun questions, CG.
Come back next week for another episode of Trojan Talk.
Thanks, guys. Tune in next week for a new episode of Trojan Talk.
Hey, Ben, I have a joke for you.
What's the joke?
What's red and is bad for your teeth?
I don't know. What is red and bad for my teeth?
A brick. That's all we have for you today, CG. Follow us on Instagram at Trojaneer and at Trojaneer Sports for daily updates, or go to our website at trojaneer.com. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.